This video is brought to you by Skillshare. The probe lens, one of the most unusual looking lenses out there, but it's capable of capturing incredibly unique looking footage. So in this video, I'm going to give you 10 tips for epic looking results. It's coming up. Hey everyone, Steve here from Learn Online Video, and today we're talking all about the probe lens. I'm going to be giving you tips on everything from lighting, camera movement, choreographing your shots, and much, much more. But with that out of the way, let's jump straight into this tutorial with tip number 1. Rent, don't buy. This is the Laowa 24mm f/14 lens and it retails for £1,599. But it's a very specific lens, not the sort of thing you just carry in your everyday camera bag. So unless you're using this consistently, rent it, don't buy it. Okay, tip number 2, props. Props will help you set the scene and tell a better story. Today, I'm gonna be using toilet roll jelly babies, a copy of the Times, some milk, a packet of M&M's, Scrabble, honey hoops, mustard, ketchup, and some strawberries. And I'll no doubt use more stuff along the way. Lighting. Lighting will be really, really important because you need a ton of it. This is an f/14 lens, meaning it's not able to open up and let anywhere near as much light in as a more traditional lens. So you're gonna need to help it out by adding more light. Generally speaking, soft diffused light is best for these types of shots. I just picked these two up pretty cheap on Amazon, but just make sure you go prepared and bring plenty of lights. Camera movement. Okay, let's talk about camera movement because this is really, really important. The probe lens is a macro lens, meaning it's shooting everything really close up, so any kind of movement is going to be exaggerated. If you're looking to get nice, smooth shots, then you're going to need to stabilize your camera, and there really is only one way to do this, and that's with an electric camera slider. This is the perfect tool to guarantee smooth, consistent movement, which is exactly what you want with these types of shots. I'm using this one here by Zeppon because it's the perfect size for what I need and it's super easy to use. It has 3 speeds. This button makes it slide forwards and this one makes it slide backwards. I'm also able to pair it with the app where I have much more control. I can program it to stop and start at my chosen positions and then set it to loop forwards and backwards. This is particularly useful if you're a solo shooter because it's a bit like having a camera operator with you. Let the slider do the work so that you can focus on the scene and getting the best shot possible. Okay, tip number 5, set the scene. Your shot will look bland, dull, and boring if you don't set the scene. Have a focal point to your shot, but then set the scene by adding relevant elements to your environment. We start this shot on a couple of lenses, pull back to reveal these old school cameras, then a quick speed ramp into another lens. The shot looks okay, but it could definitely be better. Now, let's add more elements to this environment. I'm going to add these camera bags to the background and these lens caps and remote to the foreground for the lens to pass over. Let's take a look. Okay, tip number 6, plan your shot. Okay, this step is crucial, way more important than your average shot. The more you think about and plan your shot, the better it will be. Now, huge tip here, okay? Reverse engineer your movement. Take this push forward shot of some strawberries, for example. The camera moves perfectly through these strawberries, nice and close, picking out all the details without hitting the strawberries. If I'd have not planned this shot and just started my push forward hoping that I wouldn't hit the strawberries, I would have most likely hit the strawberries and ruined my shot. So instead, start where your shot will end and build around your lens. As you can see from this behind the scenes footage, I've sat the strawberries on some tissue paper to help give the illusion the bowl is fuller than it actually is. And I'm now building strawberries around the lens, making sure they are nice and close without actually touching. I can now pull my camera back, hit record, and I know I'm going to get the shot without hitting my lens on the strawberries. Also, I always use a monitor when shooting any type of probe lens shot because it's really important to be able to see what you're shooting nice and clearly. I use the DeskView R5 because it's touchscreen, easy to use, and sits perfectly on top of my camera. I will link all gear used in this video in the description below. Bonus tip, use its uniqueness. What makes this lens unique? Well, it's a macro lens that shoots really wide, that's quite unusual, but it's also at the end of this very long probe. And when combined with an electric slider, this setup allows you to get shots like no other lens can, so take advantage of it. For me, this lens is at its best when it's smoothly pushing forward or pulling back, with elements within the environment passing the lens nice and close. Take this shot of some jelly babies, for example. We start from inside the packet, pull back, and slowly start to reveal more jelly babies, passing each one nice and close so that we can see all the detail in nice crisp focus. Same with this shot here of a book. The camera pushes forward, the pages turn, and we squeeze through the book, see all the tiny letters in crisp focus, an incredibly difficult shot to achieve without this lens. But what else makes this lens unique? Well, it also has a light at the end of it, and because this lens struggles in low light situations, this light comes in really useful. Take this shot from inside a packet of crisps, for example. I wasn't able to angle my softbox lighting to get inside the packet, but with this light at the end, I was able to reveal the crisps in all their glory. Now, a lot of the techniques that I'm showing you today simply come down to having a little bit of knowledge and a lot of creativity. Personally, I'm always looking to learn new things so that I can be more creative, and this is where Skillshare comes in. Skillshare is an online learning community for creatives. It offers thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people on topics including illustration, design, photography, video, freelancing, and much more. Skillshare has literally thousands of classes, so if you're into filmmaking, videography, and content creation, then Skillshare will have a course for you. Put simply, Skillshare helps you grow as a creative, gain those extra skills needed to turn your hobby into a career, land the clients you've always wanted to work with, make more money, and be more creative. Whatever your goal when it comes to creativity, Skillshare will help you get there. With classes to fit your schedule and skill level for less than $10 a month with an annual subscription, you can binge knowledge to your heart's content. And the first 1,000 people to use the link in my description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership. So you've got nothing to lose. Use the link, take a class, soak up some knowledge, and get creative. Okay, tip number 7, add the human element. So far, all we've been shooting are inanimate objects. This is okay, but by far the best way to bring these shots to life is by adding the human element. Call in a favor from a friend, coworker, parent, it doesn't matter, just get others involved because this will allow you to direct the scene and get much more creative. Let's start basic. Take this shot of a newspaper, for example. Not very interesting. Now let's open the paper to the crossword section and add the human element. We now have a push forward shot of the paper whilst the crossword is being filled out. Much more interesting. Be sure to choreograph, plan, and time your camera movements so that your audience is nice and close to the action. Take them on a journey through the scene and tell a story. And speaking of story, tip number 8 is tell a story. This is what will take your shots to the next level. Now let's combine all of the techniques that we've learnt and try to tell a story all in one shot. Take this shot of some chips pushing forward, for example. Just the chips look okay, but after planning, adding props, the human element, choreographing and timing this scene, we've now got this. A push forward of someone getting ready to enjoy their food. We've got props in the background to help set the scene and tell a story. The camera pushes through the chips, nice and close, revealing all the detail. The ketchup gets picked up, squirted over the chips right in front of the camera. Ketchup goes down, chip gets picked up, dipped, and eaten. And just like that, we've told a story all in one shot. Let's take a look at another example. This time we've created a scene that starts off on this shot of a drink being poured along with other various props. We pick up the mustard whilst pulling the camera back over this hot dog. We squirt mustard onto the sausage whilst the camera continues to pull back, and then our subject leans over and picks up the hot dog. Let's take a look. Okay, tip number 9, speed ramping. Some of these clips look great but can really drag on. So instead of boring your audience to death, simply try adding some speed ramping. What is speed ramping? It's when you change the speed of a clip. You can speed it up, you can slow it down, but in this case, we're speeding it up. This, combined with the next tip, can really polish off your shots, and that is sound design. This is what will really bring your shots to life. Chances are when you're recording these shots, the audio won't be usable, particularly if you're directing the scene like this.
That's it, go. That's it. Amazing.
I actually recorded the sound of ketchup being squirted out of a bottle for this scene, as well as add whoosh sound effects and music. If you'd like to learn more about editing footage like this, then be sure to check out my channel where I have plenty more free content. If you found this video useful, do let me know by giving it the old thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more content like this, learn more about video production, you can do that by watching one of my other videos just over there. But that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.